Hey, what's up, everybody? I first want to start this video off by thanking you all for giving me your eyes and ears. I just want you all to know that I've tried my best to put out the best information that I could possibly come up with through research and mostly 98% experience. Now, when it comes to depression, it's a very touchy subject. It's a very thin line between depression and sadness. You'd be surprised how many underlying problems that you may actually be going through. But a little bit about myself. For a great deal of my life, I've suffered from depression, anxiety, probably a little bit of bipolar in there, and came to the realization that I'd suffered from a lot of PTSD from trauma that I tried to suppress. Okay? And I just want to get right into the list. But let me just say also that what may be a cure for some may be a treatment for others. And I would be a fool to think that this will cure everyone's hurt. In the long run, it possibly could. But this may actually serve as somewhat of a quick fix to the lot of you. Now, obviously, if you're feeling suicidal, I did make a video on that, which wasn't all that practical. But it's just a message to let you know that you aren't at it alone. And of course, you can call the suicide hotline. It may not be the end all, but if it keeps you in the game as long as possible, it's worth it. And I hope this also helps keep you in the game as long as possible, until you can get to greener pastures. That's what I do this for. I don't really care about the views. I just want to help my people. So number one, as I got my list, embrace your every hurt. Okay? Now is not the time to try to suppress things. Now is not the time to try to run away and try to make it seem like it's something that it's not. If you can definitively convince yourself that your problems aren't that big, okay. Otherwise, but if that were the case, you wouldn't be looking at a video like this and other videos and researching literature. Just be honest. Face your hurt. Face your demons. Face everything that's bothering you. Face all the bad that you put into the world. All the people that you've hurt. There's always an opportunity to reconcile with the people who are still alive, no matter if they want to hear it or not. Because we're not perfect. You understand that. So we're not always going to get it right. But we can always try to make it right. And in order to do that, we have to face that which we would much rather run from. And sometimes the solution may feel worse. And more times than not, it may feel worse than trying to run away from something. But through that process, you will have weight lifted off of you. And it will free you up to put more healthy practices in your life. And give you more to look forward to, more positive things. Okay? Number two, which is along the lines of being honest, you journal with the intent of being honest. Put your pen to pad. Okay? No one has to see this. I write in cursive. No one can read my handwriting. Okay? It's imperative that you be honest with yourself, or you can't be honest with anyone else. And I am very prolific in journaling. So I can tell you, as you start to write down all your problems, it becomes a bit of a brainstorming exercise. Because through this process, you start to weigh your options. You start to come up with some solutions. You start to put it all out there, and you may find that your problems aren't that big. You just didn't organize them. You didn't put them out there in front of you. You didn't throw it all out there. You didn't view them. You didn't see them in words. You only felt it in pain. But when you start to see them in words, and words are practical things. So if you write down on your list, for example, poverty. Poverty is really getting to me. Well, see, that's something. That's a start. Then you can start working towards, okay, well, what can I do to get out of poverty? You start writing down the list. Okay, side hustle here, get my degree here, a couple extra hours here, and then you start Googling those things. I mean, Google is like a throwaway term and all that, but Google can lead you to some pretty powerful resources. It's a powerful resource in itself. But start with journaling and being honest. It's not sexy when you're starting out, but over time you will start to realize the benefits. My life is always better when I'm habitually journaling. It's giving you an opportunity to take a lot of weight off of you and prioritize in such a way that you can't do up here alone. Okay? And just like anything else, you don't want to leave it up to chance. You want to write these things down so you don't just feel crazy for no reason. All right? Number 3. Don't blame anyone. Yeah, people do fucked up shit to you, but you don't want to give them that power for too much longer, okay? And I know there's a lot of bad things that people can do to you, and everything has been done under the sun. But if you truly want healing, you have to take that power away from them. And also, this forces you to be honest, because we blame people for things that aren't really their fault as well. Like, I blame my mom a lot of times for the person that I've become. But as I've gotten older, I realized that she was operating, according to how she was raised. She was operating under the limitations that she placed on herself. And a lot of what we do, whether people like it or not, they're unconscious decisions, unconscious choices, movements. So as we start to understand those things, we're like, okay, how long am I going to hold somebody responsible for my life? Here I am now, I'm an adult, I may not like it. I get treated as an adult, I may not like it. I have to make adult choices, I may not like it. But if I don't get better at this game, at being an adult, who's going to pay for it? Me and my children. If you have children, I have a child, so it forces me to put everything in my hand, to put the ball on my court. And yes, it is overwhelming. But I know that through this process, I will be more empowered because of it. I'm taking it all and putting the responsibility in my hands. This is my game now. And although I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like playing it at times, I've got to play. I know that it will all work out. It's worked out for many people who've had worse situations than me. Who's to say it can't work for me, okay? And I'm very conscious of these things. I'm very conscious of the ongoings of my life. So I definitely don't have an excuse. I just need to persevere and push through, even when I don't feel like it. Even when it's not sexy. Even when people aren't patting me on my back and telling me I can do it. Which is, my whole life has been like that. No one's ever really told me I could be something. They want to see me have a good job and all that, but no one's ever really said, you could really stand out from the crowd. You could really be a star. You could really be a hero. None of those things. But you have to put that on yourself. And through your trials and errors, you can make something out of yourself. But you can't blame people on your way to the top. Of course we have haters. Of course we have people who want to see us fail. Cut them out the picture. Focus on yours. You know what I'm saying? Number 4. Give yourself something to look forward to. Okay? So, if it's taekwondo or playing basketball every day at the park at the same time, or for me, watching Game of Thrones Sunday at 9 o'clock. There we go. I look forward to that. And just having something to look forward to softens the blow of your now. People, I'm not necessarily for spending all my money on vacations, but people work extra hard just knowing that, hey, this vacation's coming up, I get to do that. Or the weekend's coming up, I get to do that. Now, I don't recommend living for the weekend, because a lot of us are. At least 85% of people hate what they do for a living, and they just can't wait until it's time to clock out. And I do recommend making the best of every second, every minute, every hour, no matter what situation you're in, because time is going to go by. And life is so much better when you aren't holding out for those couple seconds of joy. That being said, when it is time for those moments of joy, if you spend your day doing something you don't like and all that, you want to give yourself something to look forward to. And not even necessarily television, like I said. I started out by saying taekwondo, but things like that. The gym, and meeting up with friends, and just give yourself something positive to look forward to. A new book that's going to open up more opportunities, your classes. Just give yourself, when I say give yourself something to look forward to, hopefully it's something that can help you evolve. Something that's going to take you to the next level. Something that's going to give you some hope. Something that's going to make tomorrow better than today, or make today better than yesterday. And I know that it's a tough thing to hold out for, a tough thing to do when you got so much working against you. But the more that you can incorporate in your life, the more that you can give yourself to look forward to, the better your life would be, the better your outcome would be. You don't just want to rely on the weekend coming up. You don't just want to rely on Game of Thrones on Sunday. What can you give yourself to look forward to today? And then once you find those things that you can look forward to for any particular day, then it's your mission to not ruin it by thinking about tomorrow. Because tomorrow's going to come, so you might as well just indulge in it. Like, indulge in the thing that you gave yourself, that you were looking forward to. The moment you start doing it, forget about everything else and just engage in it. Have all types of fun and ride that momentum. Give yourself something to talk about, with your people, and just give yourself even more things to look forward to. So I hope I explained that well, but it's pretty simple. Number 5, I recommend it all the time. Exercise. It's probably better if you exercise in the morning, but exercise every day. I said that it's that's something that you can give yourself to look forward to, and it has a lot of benefits. You understand the health benefits. You understand you can build muscle, but it's great for your mental health. Okay? And it feels good to go after something. It feels good to set out to do something, push yourself past limits, and accomplish something. Look at yourself in the mirror. I understand a lot of people may look themselves in the mirror even after working out, and they just say it's disgusting and things like that. But after working out, you get to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm going to turn you into exactly what I want you to be. Other people have done it. Other people have reached greater feats than me. I will do it too. I will be patient. I will be persistent. And I won't care. I don't care about their opinions, because I'm working on myself. I won't compare myself to anybody else, because I'm working on myself. I'm working on my dreams. Okay? And can't nobody take that away from you. Yeah, they may try to hate. They may try to slow you down a little bit or whatever. And they may get into your head and make you feel like what you're doing isn't important or isn't worth it. But it is, okay? That's why you got to separate yourself from toxic people and things like that, which I don't think I listed, or I don't know if I did or not, but separate yourself from them toxic people who will want to get in the way of you achieving your goals. And I know that that's a thing in my life. A lot of my trauma stems from living in a household where I live with my grandma, my mom lived with my grandma, and my uncle. And my uncle is just the ugliest person that I've ever met in my life. The only person that I've grown to hate. And he called my mom all types of fat bitches and this and that, and over time that shit gets to you. Okay, so it's a little bit off the subject, but I know what it's like to have people try to talk down on you, knowing damn well you want better for yourself. Nobody wants to be unhealthy. Nobody wants to be obese, and nobody wants to have low self-esteem. Okay, so exercise against all odds, even when you feel like you don't have the energy, even when you feel like you're ugly and unimportant and nobody cares and nobody's rooting you on. Okay, because a lot of us experience that, and we don't have to be unhealthy or fat to experience that. I've damn sure experienced that. Nobody's rooting me on right now. Nobody wants me to make this video. People couldn't care less. Okay, but I'm doing it anyway for the few who may take this message to heart and they run with it. Okay, so exercise. Because when you exercise, quite literally, you're exercising your freedom, your right to move. So just start. Get to moving. Get an accountability buddy. Exercise together. Do what you have to do. Okay? I could go on and on about that one. And I am taking my physical health very important with exercise and diet and things like that. I'm not just talking. More on the diet later. Number 6. Don't engage in destructive behavior. Okay? So, if you're anything like me, or a lot of people in the depression community, we mask our feelings and we hide behind weed and alcohol and cigarettes and gossip and binge watching TV and ice cream. No. Cut it loose. If you know you have a dependency, cut it loose. Yeah, I smoked enough weed, so you ain't gonna hit me with the weed helps. It really does. It's forming a dependency, okay? Now, if you smoke once every 2 weeks or so and you got that under control, fine. I'm not telling people to give up weed, It can definitely be a powerful tool. But if you have a dependency, who are you when it's not around? Who are you while you're waiting for your dealer, or you don't have the money, or you don't have anybody to provide the weed or the drinks? Who are you then? Just a shell of yourself. So, and I really speak from experience. I can really speak on things like this. Right now, I can afford to smoke weed, but I've given up weed many times in my life, and over a month ago I stopped smoking again. But as I was smoking the last couple of times, I was just thinking, like, this isn't really adding to my life. It's taking away time. It's taking away money. It's putting a wall between me and my feelings. It's making me more apathetic. I can't connect to my daughter and my relatives and my girlfriend, everybody. And I don't like that. I want to build a better life for myself, and I don't want it to be in spite of something. I want it to be because I cut it out, And once you cut these things out completely for a while, then you can decide to say, okay, every once in a while I might try this out, I may do that or whatever. But if you're the type of person to relapse, and you relapse hard, just cut it out, man. Just cut it out. No need to binge watch, television. I could, here's the thing, because I like to watch sports, and I love my television, and I've binge watched quite a bit, and I've seen a lot of TV series. But as a writer, as a creator, I look at these things and I think to myself, like, wow. Let's say I'm watching Game of Thrones. I'm watching somebody's finished product. The behind the scenes, they don't give you all of that. They may give you a little bit, but these people are at work. This is their job, okay? If this wasn't their job, they would not be there. This is how they get paid. This is how they make a living. And they entertain us. And although we do need entertainment, we don't need to binge on it. We don't need to overdose on it and take away from our own quality of life. That forms a dependency. We only get to feel joy through somebody else's finished products. But what about our finished products? What about what we want to create? Think about that. More on that later. So just no destructive behavior. No cutting yourself. No making other people feel bad to make yourself feel better. And that goes along the lines of what I said earlier. No gossiping. That's not really going to help. Okay? Listen to a little comedy or something like that, and then follow your mission. Whatever your mission is, just follow through with that. Okay? No destructive behavior. It's gonna recycle a lot of the shit that you're going through. Okay? Number 7. And I spoke on this earlier. Just make better food choices. Now, I know you may be saying to me, McDonald's is very cheap and your salads are very expensive. And I can't speak on everyone's financial situation. If you have the power to make better food choices, make better food choices. Now, you have to get a bit creative. I'm a vegetarian, okay? So I don't necessarily have the excuse that everyone else could go with. I'm not eating burgers from McDonald's and things like that. I mean, I have had me some fries in the recent past, but I'm sure if you looked on the internet right now for cheap and healthy foods that you can get from the grocery store, you'd be very surprised by the list you can come up with. And that's even as a vegetarian or a vegan. But if you eat meat, it's even easier. There are really no excuses. You just have to be proactive, and you have to, budget, practice meal prep, all those things. It's not for the lazy, okay? It's our laziness. We're tired. It's the convenience that makes us go to McDonald's, Burger King, and things like that. But it recycles our negative feelings, it's not clean. It's not as clean, so you don't feel clean. You feel dirty. You feel like you're in a rush. And one thing about the body is pretty interesting is that your digestive system works according to how you feel. So, somebody like Warren Buffett, who I think it was his daughter or someone close to him, said that I never seen him drink water a day in his life. I mean, this man starts his day off eating McDonald's. He drink Coca-Cola, steak, and all that, whatever. He's one of the happiest men in his life, men in this world, for a couple billion reasons, multi-billion reasons. His body probably responds to shit food a lot better than yours would. So if you're unhappy and things like that and you're eating shit food, you're probably going to have a shitty outcome. And most people, they have heart attacks on Mondays. I can only imagine how that looks. You wake up, you're rushing to get to work, probably a little late. You go get McDonald's breakfast biscuit or whatever, sausage, all the works. And you're stuffing your face as you're driving, you're in traffic, you're angry, heart attack. I bet that has happened many times. Okay? So, obviously it runs a lot deeper than eating poor food, but it's a part of it, okay? So you definitely want to get more creative with that. Incorporate more vegetables, whole grain, less sugar, and less fat, less trans fat. Trans fat you should not be eating at all, okay? Anything with trans fat in it, you should stay away from that, okay? That's a great start. Stay away from anything with trans fat. Under no condition should you be feeding yourself trans fat. And I am not a doctor, but I would encourage you to do the research yourself. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, make a fool out of me. Do not eat anything with trans fat, okay? For your own health. You want to keep your arteries nice and clean. You want to keep your blood thin because you're drinking water. You're incorporating ginger, probably eating celery, incorporating cayenne pepper into your diet. Just all those things, man. Get creative. Ask the questions. Let it lead you to some resources that will allow you to have a healthier way of life. Don't hit me with that YOLO shit. Because what about your quality of life? You know, people like to say, well, you only live once. Yeah, I understand. But what about your quality of life? Do you really want to be bedridden when you got the rest of your life ahead of you? Do you really want to die prematurely because you want to say you only live once? Make your quality of life better. You know, that's what all of this is about. I just want your quality of life to be better. I ain't judging you. I'm not better than you. I eat shit just like the rest of you. Not necessarily shitty food, but I eat shit. You know, I have to deal with the hard times just like the rest of you. I'm not necessarily immune to it, okay? Maybe someday. But here I am right now, just trying to help you out. Where we at? So that was number 7. Number 8, cold showers. I didn't quite prepare the research for you, but I do know that it does take away the inflammation. A lot of the inflammation that a lot of depression stems from inflammation in the brain. So I actually want you to follow up with the scientific jargon, but it's been known to decrease depression and anxiety, and of course the health benefits, the other health benefits that I'll speak on, boost your metabolism, lowers your blood pressure, and lowers your heart rate, increases blood flow. It burns the bad fat, which I think is the white fat. All those good things, okay? And yes, it does not feel all that comfortable, but the benefits are just monumental, and it's kind of a quick fix, you know? Especially like when you're feeling really hot and there's just no solution around. And when I say really hot, I mean you feel that burning in your brain, you're just angry. You get in the shower, it forces you to focus. The cold shower forces you to focus. You know, it cools down the inflammation, slows things down for you. Allows you to just breathe. It increases your breathing and things like that, you know. So I would encourage you all to do that. And of course, you know, you could take a nice relaxing shower or bath that's warm. Okay? I understand that. Take a shower. Now obviously I'm always going to stand by cold showers because at least 95% of my showers are cold. And if you want to incorporate both, do both. Start off with a warm shower, finish it off with a cold one. You know, be kind to yourself, which is a tip in itself. Just be kind. And this isn't to hurt you. This isn't to punish you. This is for your own good. Okay? Take cold showers. Number 9, hang out with your friends. You know, you've been pushing them off because of your depression. They ask you to hang out and you don't want to. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be destructive. I'm going to get with my friends tomorrow and we're going to watch Game of Thrones. And I don't have to drink if I don't want to. I more than likely won't. I didn't drink last week. I want to take it all in. You know, and have something to talk about when it's all said and done. And it's a big thing for me to actually be around some people who probably also feel similar to the way I do sometimes, where it just feels like you're just lonely and no one understands you, but we have this meeting place where we can enjoy the things that we love together. And if you don't have friends, you know, make some new friends. And a great way to make new friends is to go somewhere. You know, you meet them in places that you like to be. You know, if you like to shop a lot, then you're gonna find people who like to shop a lot where you go. You know, the mall or what have you. You like to play basketball, you're gonna meet them at the court. You know, and any other thing. You know, art classes, what have you. Like minds tend to go where like minds tend to go. You know, the library, for example, you could ask people, hey, what's your favorite book? What book changed your life? And you connect that way. You know, if you like to thrift, for example, because I like to do that as well, you meet a lot of interesting people in a thrift store. And through that, I realized, man, boy, you could sell anything. I mean anything. Oh, boy. So, yeah, hang out with friends, make new friends. I'll be your friend. If you have me. Number 10, spend time in nature. Okay? You have to. And if you live in a place where there are 4 seasons, you'd be very happy to have springtime, like I'm enjoying right now. I'm not necessarily in nature, but I got the trees around me, you can see. And I like to spend time at the water, at this park. Got a nice little waterfront across the water is the harbor where I'm pretty much from. I'm close to the National Harbor. That's my origins. But just be at peace and observe nature, and just focus on those birds and those ducks. I know ducks are birds, but squirrels and all that, and just understand they aren't spending too much time focusing on the bad in life. They're just doing what they have to do, and that's why it's a benefit of waking up extremely early. You get the fresh air, you get the fresh start. Life isn't happening without you. You get to make life happen. And you're always focusing on what's next. What's directly next. I mean, the next 5 seconds, which is the tail end of focusing on what's now. Focusing on the now. The power of now. That's the reason why Eckhart Tolle, his book is so powerful. Because it brings you all in, okay? You can't take the past with you, not effectively. If you could effectively take the past with you, then you'd be able to edit it. You don't know what the future may lie, but you understand that in order to get to a desired outcome, it starts right here. Because our present moment is the future of yesterday. You know what I'm saying? This is the moment that we wished for at one point, and now we're here. So we have to make the best out of it, so the future that we hope for will be even better. Okay?